I'm Professor Scoville, and this is Pepperology Session 5. Got some good questions from everybody today. In the last video, thank you for asking them. We got some really good stuff to go over. Hopefully you're going to hear something on this that you don't know. You know, if this may jar, make you like think of a question that you have never thought of, feel free to ask. But here we go. And in no particular order, just as I got them. Let's see here. We have DOOGM asked, what is your favorite memory of eating something hot and spicy with Johnny Jr.? You know, we ate a lot of spicy stuff together. He lived with me for a long time. So I thought about a couple different ones. You know, a couple of times we prepped in Belgium leading up to his first contest. And there really wasn't a whole lot of preparation, but that was kind of fun. But I did a video where Johnny and I, we did a video. We were on the balcony of this hotel. We were about to leave, and we were going to Belgium. We were going to the UK, then to Belgium and France. But anyway, we were on this balcony. I had 3 bottles of jam. So somebody may have seen this video because it's still there. But I have 3 bottles of jam, and I was just talking about these jams, and I dropped one, and we were on the 2nd floor. And as it dropped, we both looked at it, and it rolled. And you can hear it. You can hear it leave. You can hear the noise of it rolling, and you can hear it roll off the edge, and then that second of nothing before it breaks, and it went. And the look on my son's face was priceless. In the video, it was just hilarious. And that was a very, very funny moment. We laughed our skulls off from that. But I've had, you know, he's a great kid. I'm very, very blessed to have good children. So, but those are funny memories. But thank you for the question. Here we go. We have /6938. Weirdly enough, a lot of peppers burn my stomach around the solar plexus area as they go down. And it's not cap cramps. It prevents me from being able to eat peppers above habanero heat limit. That wasn't really a question, but I wanted to throw my 2 cents in. It could, you know, I haven't heard of that thing, but I would say don't push yourself if it makes you uncomfortable. But part of eating peppers is discomfort, I should say. But I would stay at habanero, and then after you've done that for a period of time, maybe test it and see if you've built up a bit of a resistance to it. And that's what the best advice I can give you for that. Then we have John Smith, SC6JT. He had my first cap cramps today. Brutal. Question, when creating a sauce, does the way a pepper burns you translate in sauce? When I cook, I try to balance different dried pepper powder to hit the palate differently. And is the same true for mash and ghost compared to Reaper? Great question, John Smith. Absolutely. That's the reason that pepper growers or sauce makers, use different types of peppers in the sauce isn't just for flavor, because the truth is a lot of those peppers are going to mix together and you're going to lose a lot of the flavor individually. But it's to give you different burn experiences, and you know what I mean. So like the mash, as you mentioned, a Reaper mash is going to burn your throat. It's going to just park it in your throat just like a Reaper pepper will. And the ghost pepper mash, it burns. The characteristics hold very, very similar to the sauces. Now they hit differently. Eating a whole Reaper is different than eating Reaper sauce. You know, sometimes people say, well, you know, they're different. Sauce is sauce and peppers are peppers. But the burn characteristics translate through sauces and powders. Good question. All right. This is a long one, but I thought it was worth reading. Listen to this. This comes from SMFTV. I guess he was responding to somebody, but it was worth reading. I can tell you from experience, I'm not saying you have any GI issues, but I have pancolitis, the most severe form of ulcerative colitis. Okay, in other words, a completely ulcerated colon and large intestine. Now I enjoy spicy food. If I listen to the gastroenterologist, my diet would be water, ice cubes, and applesauce. And the applesauce would have to be organic with no sugars added and no skins. So screw them. I learned over the years what food hurts me the most. This is fascinating to me. Anything gassy is hell on his stomach, he says. Carbonated drinks, green leafy vegetables, etc. But I still have an occasional salad. In terms of spice, or peppers, okay? This is the part that I found really interesting. In terms of spice or peppers, I noticed that the level of spice doesn't seem to affect me as much as the pepper itself. Do you understand what he's saying there? It's the capsaicin isn't what's hurting him. It's the pepper product, the pepper. Digesting the pepper is what is hurting him more than the capsaicin itself. There are mild GI issues that may go unnoticed for decades until you eat one food that your body just rejects. Johnny has often mentioned, and he's 100% correct, that digestion starts in the mouth. The better you masticate, chew, your food, the easier it is on your digestive system to process. I can't eat seeds of any kind, and this may be gross, but it is what it is. When I have a bell pepper, I always de-seed it, and let's say I slice it into strips and saute it. If I were to swallow a piece without chewing it, it will come out the exact same way it went in. It's just something I can't digest. Most, if not all people, experience that with corn. Okay, so if your GI system rejects certain foods, nausea will certainly will most certainly be a common symptom. Isn't that fascinating? To further explore the theory, it could be like an allergy, but a food not like an allergy, but a food sensitivity issue. Every pepper is different. I'm severely, hang on one second here, just 1 sec. There we go. Every pepper is different. I'm severely allergic and have a food sensitivity to all fish and or seafood. I can't be around it. I can't go to the, I can go to the ocean. I can enjoy a fish tank, etc. I can even go into restaurants, and if someone near me orders seafood that I can't smell, I'm okay. But if, say, someone orders fried calamari or a dish that gives off a fishy odor, which to me is offensively repulsive, I have an Olympic seconds to get to the bathroom before projectile vomiting. The second I smell it, I'm instantly nauseous and I have to excuse myself. Countless times I've gone out to eat with friends, and someone at our table or a nearby table orders something that I literally have to leave the restaurant because it's not something like spice. I lost where I am. Hang on a second. Oh, it's not something like spice where it's mild or mind over matter. Like Johnny said, there's little to no research on it. So it's my real life research that I think is comparable on a level to what you're experiencing. If possible, you just have a food sensitivity, aka a nemesis pepper. I think that was responding to a person who says one pepper really destroyed him, other peppers didn't. I think that's why I was responding. And back to the topic of seeds. Why hasn't anybody invented the seedless strawberry or raspberry yet? Seedless fruits are cultivated to be genetically sterile or cloned. So with science, also seedless fruit, also is a seedless fruit now a vegetable? Good question, but thank you for that. It's fascinating, isn't it though? So if you listen to his doctor, think of what his diet's like. But our bodies are, why I think they call doctors what they do a practice, because they don't have that stuff mastered. They're figuring this stuff out. When you go there, they're practicing on you. Lawyers too. It's kind of crazy. All right, so next we got Saka Habanabro. When did you go from the casual spice enjoyer to the passionate connoisseur you are today? What was the awakening moment for you after the what was the awakening moment for you after the pepperoncini incident? And what he's referring to is when I was a little boy, my dad, that was the first pepper I ever ate. I always had a thing for spice. Here's the thing: if you ever give a kid a mint, like a little kid, a young kid, they haven't experienced that before. So when you put a mint in a kid's mouth, they're like, because it's an experience. It's just like sour and bitter. These are experiences, and heat's the same, or spice is the same way. So after having the first pepperoncini, it just set off. Anytime there was an option for heat, I wanted all of it. And that's just the way I was. I mean, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. It's really how I have always been. Hasn't always served me, but in peppers it served me well. But so there wasn't, as far as an awakening to arrive me where I'm at now, it really was, I was watching, I've told this story before. I was watching a video of somebody eating a couple chocolate bootlas, the video of pepper that I ate today. the first video of the day, in fact. And my daughter was young. My daughter was going to graduate in May from med school, pre-med, excuse me. But she was a little girl then. I said, come here, honey, you got to see this. And she came over and sat down, and this person started dropping F-bombs. And I don't use F-bombs in front of my kids. I just don't. And I couldn't cover her ears. I couldn't rewind it. And that day, I was like, man, I can eat peppers. I can do a show that would be fun, entertaining, and you could let a kid watch it. Because that was a problem. I was a problem. And, you know, at the time, I started that. So that was the aha moment that I can do this better than everybody else. And I wasn't trying to be arrogant about it, but I just watched what was out there. And at the time, listen, there's so many people that are as good as I am. But at the time, there were very few people doing it. And there was just not much excitement. And there was none of them did it make me, at the end of the video, did I leave the video going, man, I want to eat that. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make a video. I wanted to have a channel where I was done eating. I don't care what it was. You looked at it and went, man, I know it would hurt me, but I got to eat that. And that's my aha moment was that moment with my daughter. I said, I can do this. Because you have to watch the kids, man. The kids are important. They're the future of the chili industry, man. So anyway, that was my kind of aha moment. But thank you for the question. Here we go. We got Bugbear55. Dang, Johnny, those are some hard choices on that pain train, no matter what you do at a certain point. I would love to taste peppers the way you can with such a high tolerance, but I just don't think I could get to those super hots because I can't even imagine the idea of purging. I enjoy cooking. You don't have to purge all the time. If you do it smart, you can get to a high level and not have to ever get to that point. If you do contests, you're going to have to. I enjoy cooking with peppers and making spicy dishes, so maybe I could check out some of hot sauces you've reviewed. And oh, hey, on a pepper question, not a pepper question, what is your guitar rig like? I heard you mention playing guitar after shooting a video several times. I wonder, as I'm also a guitarist, check out the playlist. It's called Cap Jammin'. I've got it. There's 80 or 90 videos of me playing on there. So if you want to see me play, but I have several guitars. You know, I wanted, several guitars. But the rig I use, the amp I don't use any effects, no pedals, nothing. It's just out of the amp. I have a Vox VT40X. That's what it's called. But it's a tube combo modeling amp, so I can get it sound like there's a setting where it's a Marshall stack. There's a setting where it's a Fender twin reverb. So there's some cool things I can do with the amp. I bought the wrong amp. I could play a small stadium with this thing. It's just 48 watts. I don't think I've ever had it over. Once I took it to the office and got it up to like 5. I mean, it's just really a loud amp. But what's great about the amp is if I play really, really low, because I'm in an apartment, I want to, if I play really low, you don't lose the tone and the feel and the sound. Even at low volume, the sound is amazing. So that's the rig I'm using now. The guitar, my main guitar is a Strandberg Bowden. It's an amazing guitar. It changed guitar for me. If I had that guitar when I started playing, I'd be making a living playing guitar right now and not doing this, because I never would have put the guitar down. I can't put it down. It's the most comfortable guitar. You know what? I never realized how I fought every other guitar I've ever played. I fought against it one way or another. I didn't realize it until I picked a Strandberg up. And then you realize it. You fight every guitar you play, one way or another. I mean it. Pick up a Strandberg. But if you do, just understand that I've known some people who has a very strange neck. It's really weird. So I've known some people who picked up a Strandberg and didn't like it. All right? But I will tell you this. If you pick up a Strandberg and you fall in love with it, it's going to ruin you for other guitars. It really will. Because you pick up do some research on a Strandberg. It's a very, very cool guitar. But that's my main guitar. It's amazing. It's 4 pounds, but somehow feels like a tank at the same time. It's really strange. Anyway, thank you for that awesome question. All right, so now we got Vern Bolstad. My man Vern. Haven't seen Robert Plant for a while. Does he flower like a cactus? I give you Robert Plant. He's looking wonderful. I do believe they flower. I'm not quite sure, to be really honest with you. I'm watering it when I'm supposed to and giving it the light that it needs. And Robert Plant is doing well. For people that are looking at this going, what is Robert Plant? This is Euphorbia resinifera. And the substance that the reason I call it Robert Plant, it sure looks like a cactus, but it's a plant. All right? Or it's both, but it's actually a plant. So I named it Robert Plant. Come on. Come on. You like it. Anyway, it has a substance in it called resin ferrotoxin, which capsaicin can get as high as, we know that capsaicin get as high as 16 million in peppers. This produces something that is 16 billion. And I'm going to be doing a video using this substance in season 8 of Chase to Eat. We're about ready to conclude season 7 in about a month from Tuesday. Anyhow, that's Robert Plant, and he's doing well. Bizzle, my dude, I love this series. So how can they make a red pod turd chocolate or yellow? How do they change colors? You know what? I don't know the answer to that. I'm not a grower. I know that. I know this. If you cross a pod, like a couple different color pods, you're gonna create something that pods can revert back. So sometimes you'll have a pod like Tom Broom. He was growing. The ultimate answer is I don't know, Bizzle. But Tom Broom was growing. Primatale. Was it Primatales? Yeah, it was a red, chocolate Primatale plant, I think. Anyway, or maybe it was a red Primatale plant. But it threw a yellow pod out of nowhere. He doesn't know why. But he took those seeds and grew those seeds out. And they were yellow. And now he has the yellow Primatale that he calls the killer yellow. So how it's done intentionally, I don't know. I really don't. It's a beautiful thing though, but the pod color, it's a good time to talk about this. Chocolate pods don't taste like chocolate, peach don't taste like peach. You know what I mean? They just don't. It's really just for the color of it all. But it's a kind of an important thing. It's, people always ask. And the lighter the color of the pod, typically the less heat the pod's gonna have. Within that kind of pepper, if you have all ghost peppers and you have a chocolate, a red, an orange, whatever, and the bottom one is a white ghost, like I ate just one a couple days ago. Yesterday I ate that, a white ghost. Listen, that white ghost is the lowest temperature ghost heat-wise of all the ghost peppers, and it's like that with all peppers. So as the color drains, the heat does too. Fascinating though, isn't it, Bizzle? All right, so this one is from Mighty Murph. A couple days ago, I had this is good. A couple days ago, I had the idea of pushing my limit. I ate 1.5 ghost peppers. For the first 12 minutes, I was fine. Felt the build and embraced it. Suddenly, as if someone hit a switch, the cramps activated. They were so bad, I couldn't stand up straight, and I couldn't talk. I was almost at the point of panicking, but I heard your voice say, "It won't kill you." I'm sure I got an endorphin rush because in the midst of the pain, it vanished. Eventually, I threw up, and going into the next day, I had some of the worst throat pain that I had ever, I thought I had a sore throat. Hadn't been sick in years. A couple tablespoons of honey, and it was gone. I only read that comment because, first of all, Mighty Murph, I'm glad you hung in there. It's brutal. When it happens, it's brutal. But cramps don't kill you. They don't. And this is probably a good time right now. Real quickly, I'm going to touch on a very touchy subject. Harris, a young man, Wallabaugh, I can't remember his last name, but a young man died in Massachusetts, and the report is that he died from eating the one-chip challenge. The challenge. All right, now here's the issue that I have, and it's an issue now. It was an issue before. It was a concern, and we don't know, and I had my doubts. The autopsy report has been completed. It's been reported. I read it. I have the report. I posted it on Facebook. It's been completed, and it's going to remain private, and the family's not going to post it. So the problem I have is that listen, if somebody dies and they want to keep the cause of death private, they have every right to. I believe that. But when you make a claim that affects a billion-dollar industry, countless people who make their living in that industry, tons of people who love the industry, you can't decimate an industry like that and then not show that report. I think the fact that maybe they plan showing it later. And again, I've said this the whole time. If at any point information comes out and I was wrong, I will make a glorious apology video. It'll be sincere and from the heart. But I don't think that's going to happen. But since they have done what they've done, And it's not really their fault. It's the news report, the news outlets. The news outlets took a story and just ran with it. It went from family is concerned that it could be the one chip to the boy died after eating the one chip to the boy, the one chip killed the boy. And that's how that's how it kind of progressed. So the news outlets are to blame for this. But think about that. Think about this just for a second. The whole world knows that this boy died supposedly being the one chip. The family gets the results. If it was from the one chip, do you think they would have told us? Would they have done it? I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but somebody would have done a victory lap saying, it was your fault, you did it, and I want you to pay me. But not a peep, not a word. Something else killed that young man, and it didn't have anything to do with that chip. As bad as it tasted. All right. Anyway, thank you for that question. Now, just Plinkin. I have not gotten my hands on anything hotter than a ghost pepper. However, I eat jalapenos, serranos, and habaneros every day. I don't understand what cap cramps are, but I do get gas cramps. And once I break wind, it's over. Does letting one loose help the cap cramps? Oh, man. Look, I think we're all adults. Even the kids can relate to this. We've all let one loose and felt relief on one level, some way. All right, so I don't know if it would help cramps. I know that vomiting for me, if it's not too late, if the cramps have just started, sometimes vomiting will help a little bit. But I don't know. If somebody has had the experience where letting one fly, squeezing the breeze, has helped you in relieving your cap cramps, please put in the comment. We'd love to know. Change the whole pull my finger thing. It would be a really important thing to do that. But thank you for that, Just Plinkin. All right, now we got user G. We got GS again. Okay, GS says, what kind of pepper do you recommend between habanero and ghost? You know, the funny thing is, there are so many people over the years, 7 years now, I've had so many people ask me this in comments and in emails when they meet me. Most people in the country, if you're in the United States, there are some grocery stores that are a little bit more advanced where you're going to find some really cool peppers. All right? But for the most part, you're going to be limited to a handful of peppers. You're going to be limited to jalapeno, serrano. You'll get some banana peppers sometimes, some Fresno sometimes, you know what I mean? And some habanero. That's typically it for grocery stores. So there are, I had something I wanted to show you. I had this really cool thing my sister gave me with all the chart of all the different peppers. What you're going to find is that the peppers that you're looking for in that range are going to be very, very, very difficult to ever find in a grocery store. So my best advice for people in that spot, there's two different paths you can go. You can do any path you want, actually. Here's my suggestion is plug into a Facebook group. If you're not on Facebook, an Instagram group, but there are pepper groups and pepper growers, and you will have access to growers that sell pods of every heat level. Now, what you're going to find is in most of the pepper groups, everybody seems to be focusing on the super hots, but there's always somebody growing stuff that's lower in heat. So I would plug into those groups. The avenue I took was, because all I had was jalapeno and habanero, was really always available to me locally at stores. I would start buying pods from people on Facebook, and I went from right to ghost pepper. There's a ton of different peppers in the middle you can do, but I went from habanero to ghost. And you don't need to do the fast track like I did. I started eating whole pods from the jump. I never ate a half a pod. From the very beginning, I just ate whole pods. That's kind of how I thought it was supposed to be done, so that's how I always did it. But you don't have to do that. You can be at a habanero, get yourself a ghost pepper, and just cut a sliver of it. You know what I mean? It's going to give you the taste of the ghost, which is just wonderful. It's really a great tasting pepper. It's one of my favorites of all time. So you'll give you the taste of the ghost pepper, but you get used to that, which is so wonderful. But it'll also give you an idea. Even if you only eat a sliver of a ghost pepper, it's going to move your tolerance up. All right? So you don't have to eat the whole pod. You can become a raging chilihead and never kill yourself. You just got to do it thoughtfully. But slivers of pods it always works if you don't want to commit to the whole pepper. Okay, the next question. was from, boy, hang on. Marison Hajrullah. Have you ever got an endorphin rush from sauces? Indeed. Indeed I have. I've gotten endorphin rushes from sauces, from chugging bottles of sauce. But fear not, you don't have to do that. I've gotten endorphin rushes from just having a super hot sauce that I use a little too much. No two ways about it. You absolutely can get an endorphin rush from sauce. For sure. The next question is from Star Wars Ladybug. My question, does the bitterness or floral come from the seeds or the pepper, or is it just the nature of the seeds of the pepper, or is it just the nature of the pepper? I used to think for a long, long time that it was the seeds. I knew that seeds didn't have heat in them, but I thought that bitterness came from seeds, because that's what you hear, right? That's what you hear, bitterness. But when I did the seed challenge, where I had Tom Broom wash off with a saline solution all the pepper matter off the outsides of 40 primatali seeds, what I consider to be the hottest pepper there is. My son, who's not a chiliad, did it with me. He took 20, I took 20. We ate them. They tasted nutty. They were not bitter at all. So at that point, I sort of changed my thought. All along, I've been thinking pods or the seeds make the peppers bitter. I don't believe that at all. I believe that comes from the pepper. And in the very same sense, floral notes come from the pepper. So I don't think it's a product of the seeds. I don't. But I thought that for a long, long time. I really did. Good question. SG2823, is the burning sensation from capsaicin really a form of acid? Here's how we're going to handle that, because I don't want to give misinformation. We're going to find out right now. Is capsaicin a form of acid? Capsaicin is actually alkaline. Interesting to know. And as an isolated compound, it binds to receptors on our tongue and skin and that detect high temperatures and abrasions. It's an alkaline. Isn't that incredible? That's the reason it's good for your stomach. So, no, it's not an acid. In fact, it's the opposite of an acid. How exciting is that? To me, that's exciting. All right, so next we got WTS Jr., 1976. I just started on this wonderful chili journey with my son. I love that. I would like to know how different the SHU, the Scoville heat unit, is between sauce and peppers. We've had sauce claiming 3 million SHU without much trouble, but as far as peppers, I'm still around the habanero level. That's because sauce makers lie about their sauce. You know, they do. The hottest sauce I know of, there's the double doomed, which is like 6 million. But before that, there was doomed, which is 2.46 million. It's the first time I ever saw a sauce with it on the label from the lab. The SHU rating on the label. So it first of all, it does translate differently. So that's the truth. There is no, if you had the bottom line is that sauces are diluted in your food that you eat. You know what I mean? So even if you have a sauce, like even if you take Doomed, we use that as the example from Hellfire, 2.46 million or something, or 2.63, something scary. It's ridiculously hot, like crazy hot. Like 1 teaspoon gave me calf cramps. All right. So if you take that sauce, Doomed, and you compare it to like you eat a primatali. If you ate a whole primatali, it's going to be about a couple million Scoville heat units. If you ate a whole tablespoon of the Doomed, it does translate differently, but the peppers, here's the problem with the peppers. The peppers have oils, they stay in your mouth, they linger longer. So biggest problem that you're having isn't a discrepancy with how sauce and peppers, how the SHU translate. What it is just not, companies that are not being truthful about the heat of their sauces. I'm not going to say the name. There was a sauce that came out years ago that was reported to be ridiculous, like really high, several million. It was reported to be. I know somebody, I didn't do it. I know somebody who sent that sauce to a lab to have that sauce tested. And the sauce came back 270,000 Scoville heat units. And they were claiming it was over a couple million on the label. So the biggest discrepancy is just that you're not getting the truth you're getting much more truthful results with peppers than you are with sauce. So there you have it. And by the way, can I tell you how important it is that my dad got me into peppers? My dad was my hero. He still is. Just he gets smart. He's been dead for 2 years, and every day he gets smarter to me. I think of things he said. I'm like, man, he was right. I love that you're eating peppers with your son. It's a bonding thing. It's a beautiful thing. I've eaten it with my children, and it's just, I'm so glad that you're doing that. That made my day. All right, so now we got Bizzle. When are you getting a laptop, my friend? I feel like I lost my best friend. I'll soon. The problem is this. It's a twofold problem. It's just moving. But I'm like, this is my last week in this apartment, and then I'm moving. So a lot going on. But soon, Bizzle, I promise you, bro. We got Zayla Faye. Tough one. Never been more curious in my life. What is the huge draw towards a burning mouth? I don't mean to sound ignorant. It's just an honest question. It's okay. I'll happy to answer you. There are people that, believe it or not, I'm just hazarding a guess, but I guarantee if you Google this, you'll find it. I guarantee you that there's a crocheting community, a big one. I'll bet you anything. And I'll bet you there are titans within that community. Everybody knows. Just like there is in the chili community, right? I promise you. I would look at those people and go, a crocheting community? What's the deal? What's your interest in that? I don't get it. I don't dig crocheting. Do you get it? Now, it's just not something, I use this, there was a great bumper sticker, Harley Davidson. You could ask me to explain, but you wouldn't, I could try to explain, but you wouldn't understand. I heard a different way of saying it, that I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Here's the bottom line. I've said it a lot of times. I like pain. I'm a masochist. It is what it is. I don't like hurting others. I don't like, the idea of other people hurting hurts me. But I enjoy pain, okay? It is what it is. I'm being honest with you. I don't like headaches. I don't like heartache. I don't like backache or toothache. But about any other pain, I can find something in it that I can groove on, as weird as that sounds. So for me, I love the taste of them. I love the feeling I get from eating them. I love the pain it gives me. That's why I do. You think I would do this if I didn't like it? I made almost 5,000 videos. And I'm not alone. See, if it was just me, if there was only one chili channel on the planet, and it was me, I'm a weirdo, right? I mean, you see me walk to the other side, on the other side of the street, get away from me. But I'm not alone. It's a billion-dollar industry, multi-billion-dollar industry. It's huge. So there's a lot of people like us. What I would suggest you do is try, go to some of the fast food places, if you like fast food, and try some of their spicy new stuff they have. In the grocery store, there's everything in the world is spicy now. Here's the interesting thing. None of the stuff in the grocery store is spicy enough to hurt you, even if you're not into spice, okay? So what I would urge you to do, there's some wonderful tasting stuff. There's a category in the playlist here called mainstream products. Go take a look at some of them. Try it. You might find that's something you like. Now, I get that some people recoil from pain and do everything they can to avoid it and not have it be a part of their life. It's not me. I wake up sometimes, and I saw a funny meme the other day. It said, I don't know if I hurt myself. I woke up and I don't know if I hurt myself or this is just how it is now. As you get older, it's painful. It's just the way it is. And because I dig pain, I'm having a good time with it. So, I don't know. I have a different approach to it, I guess. But hope that answers your question. Oh, that was the last one. There you go, people. I hope you got something out of that. I appreciate all of the comments and questions. If this spurred any other questions about me or chilies or the chili industry or sauce or powders, if I don't know the answer, I'll find it. I'll report back to you. But there is Professor Scoville's Pepperology Session V. Thank you for attending. I hope you took good notes. In the description box, you're going to see a link for all the normal stuff. Right there is the pepper. Right there is a really important one. If you or somebody you know has a problem with a substance, first of all, peppers help. Do you know that? I've talked about it, but when you eat high levels of capsaicin, it increases serotonin in your body. All right? And serotonin has been proven to help people deal better with stress, anger, frustration, anxiety. And if you're trying to put a substance in the rearview mirror, those things are triggers. So that's why there's a correlation between sobriety and capsaicin. That's why there's so many happy, sober people in the chili world. You may want to take a look at it. More videos here. I love you guys. I'm Johnny Scoville. This was Chase the Heat.